Okay, this is the verse of the day for, what was it, September 24th, and that says Psalm 139, 13 to 14. I'll let you know, like I always do when I see Psalms, it's a whole book of poems. They don't rhyme because they've been translated into English, so don't expect that. But what they are more for is just praises to God. I say that it's good to read this proverb, then the New Testament and the Old Testament, but you can just read the whole Bible straight through and see what I'm talking about if you ever choose to look into the Bible. So I'm going to read Psalms 139 and get to the specific verse 13 and 14 as soon as possible. As it loads up. Psalms 139. 13 and 14. Let me go in again. Okay, there we go. Okay, and this one is called, okay, and also another tidbit that I say is that Psalms is usually done by David. David was musical. He had a musical spirit. He always walked around singing praises to God, and he knew lots of instruments, how to play them. He loved to dance. I mean, his personality almost matched kind of like mine. He was very just energetic, just boisterous, and boisterous about his love for God. And he likes to sing about God and think about God and that kind of thing. So 139 is should be way what? Oh, 13 and 14. So okay. So it's like this whole section, which is not too long, and I'll read it. Then get to the specific verse. To the director, a praise song of David. Lord, you have tested me. And you can picture David. If you know any stories, I'm going to give you a few stories of him so you can imagine what his mindset is when he's singing this. It's usually a praise to help from God, or he's either usually singing, thank you for helping me, God, because he's always going through some kind of problems. That's kind of like me too. There's always something that's to test his life. So, in summary, David's life is this. He was a young boy. He had about, I think he was either, I don't know if he was a family of 8 or 12. I never know. I need to look back. But I think it was 8 sons. So he has a family of 7 brothers, and he's the littlest one. And there's this king in Israel a little further back. Let's start from the beginning and make it quick in about 2 minutes. Okay. God led the people out of Egypt with Moses. We all know that story. Then the people, God set up prophets that would be able to talk to him directly so that the prophet can come back to the people and tell them the word. But the people started looking around at other nations and saying, we want to be like that. We want a king, someone who's, telling us what to do instead of you running to God and telling us, how do we know this is God talking, yada, 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 and they're going crazy. So the prophet goes back to tell God what they said, and God said, you know what? If that's what they want, I give everybody free will. I'm just trying to be the best for you. You want that? You can have it. Go ahead, pick who you want. And the town they ended up picking, what's the name, Saul, and yeah, Saul. So this man is made king. He is supposed to be getting some kind of leadership from God, but he goes and does his own things occasionally sometimes, and he's not really being obedient to God. So God hates that, and he says, "I wish I never let this man be king. You know what? I'm gonna switch him out and have somebody else be king." So the prophet goes and tells the king this, and he gets all paranoid and he's worried and he's all in a bad mood, and he tells somebody, go hire me a musician so he can play for me because I'm just in this bad mood and I don't feel good. And or the people just said, hey, let's get him a musician because he's in a bad mood. Let's lift his spirit. So they got David. He's a young boy. He's a shepherd boy. He's tending flock. That's all he knows how to do. People treat him, just like that's the shepherd boy, but he's got a fire within him where he loves God, and that love can boost you anywhere in life. So while his big brothers, they're all warriors. They go out and fight wars for the nation, and he's at home tending his flock, doing nothing. So they hear about that he can play music, so he comes and plays for the king. And the king gets such in a bad mood. I mean, he has to play music, and it's the only thing that soothes the king. So God tells the prophet, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna switch this king out and bring in something else. You know what? I'm gonna get that little guy who's playing the music for him to be king. So There's a transfer of power. And during it, while David is coming in to play music for the king's getting word that, this is going to be the new king. So he's getting mad at him. And, and he, ends up, in summary, he just ends up trying to kill him. So he's chasing him throughout the country. I mean, David's running for his life, hiding. And this king, instead of worrying about his real enemies, he's got troops trying to find this little boy. But before that, of course, it's the story of David and Goliath, where his brothers are out fighting a war, and they say, and Goliath is this big, tall giant, and then the Philistine enemies, they say, if anybody can defeat this one giant of ours, then we'll say you win. We don't all have to die today. Let's not have a big fallout battle. Let's just make it a one-on-one. So everybody on the Israelite side was, scared. They're looking like, he is big. There's no way I can beat him. And here comes little David up with a meal for his big brothers who are warriors. He's just so little and he's trying to feed his brothers because his dad sent him out to send them some meat, something to eat. And while he's there, he's like, why are y'all letting him talk to y'all like that? Is he crazy? He's talking to God's army. Why do y'all let him just stand there and nobody stands up to face him? I'll fight him. And his brother's like, get back. You cannot do anything. You'll go home and tend some sheep. But instead, they suited him up, tried to put on this heavy armor. And he's like, I don't need all this. All I really need is just this slingshot. Because this is what I protect the sheep with. I kill bear, lions, whoever tries to eat my sheep. I'm killing animals all day. Of course I can kill him. So he comes out there and the Goliath is big and he's laughing at him like, look at this little man. Y'all, this is who you send to me? Oh my God. And he's all confident and cocky like, all right, come on, I'll give you a free shot. So David posts up, hits him in the head with a slingshot. He gets knocked down while he's on the ground and cuts his head off, and that's how they win that day. But in that whole transition, at the same time, God's planning to put this little boy in that position because he sees his faith. That's what faith is. Where you stand in front of your giants and you don't care how big they are, you just go at them because you know God got your back, and there's no way that you're gonna end up losing if God's got your back. So the king, the whole town's proud. They got David on the shoulders. They're saying, yes, David, he kills millions of enemies, but our king, he's sitting there, he barely kills any. And they're promoting David all through the town. And the king gets more jealous and jealous. And this is what leads to him, after he really finds out that David's supposed to take his spot as king, he tries to chase him down and kill him. So David ends up just running around town away from this king and all his, the king that he's been treating good, playing music for. He's chasing him, trying to kill him and trying to trick him and all kind of stuff. And David eventually gets away, ends up defeating the other armies, is king of Israel, etc., etc. So that's the background of it. So these are songs that he's written while he's out there in the wilderness. Of course, he's writing songs. That's all he has time to do. I mean, he's looking out, he's hiding in caves, seeing if somebody's around them, trying to look for him. So in his downtime, he's just out there praising God, singing to God, writing down poems. And these are the compilement of his poems within Psalms. It's written by other people. Other people have their songs in here too, but mainly it's going to all come from David. So this one starts off, to the director, a praise song of David. Lord, you have tested me, so you know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know my thoughts from far away. You know where I go and where I lie down. You know everything I do. Lord, you know what I want to say even before the words leave my mouth. You are all around me, in front of me and behind me. I feel your hand on my shoulder. I am amazed at what you know. It is too much for me to understand. Your spirit is everywhere I go. I cannot escape your presence. If I go up to heaven, you will be there. If I go down to the place of death, you will be there. If I go east where the sun rises or go to live in the west beyond the sea, even there you will take my hand and lead me. You are strong. Your strong right hand will protect me. Suppose I wanted to hide from you and said, surely the darkness will hide me. The day will change to night and cover me. Even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are the same. You form the way I think and feel. You put me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because you made me in such a wonderful way. I know how amazing that was. You could see my bones grow as my body took shape, hidden in my mother's womb. You could see my body grow each passing day. You listed all my parts, and not one of them was missing. Your thoughts are beyond my understanding. They cannot be measured. If I could count them, they would be more than all the grains of sand. But when I finished, I would have just begun. You murderers, get away from me. God kill those wicked people, those who say bad things about you. Your enemies use your name falsely. Lord, I hate those who hate you. I hate those who are against you. I hate them completely. Your enemies are also my enemies. God, examine me and know my mind. Test me and know all my worries. Make sure that I'm not going the wrong way. Lead me on the path that has always been right. So this is what he's doing. He wrote that and he's just talking his heart, but he has some things heavy on his heart. You can tell by the end of the poem. At the beginning of the poem, it's very poetic. Even if it doesn't rhyme, you can still feel the vibe of it. And you get it just sinks into your soul because you know that he's going through something. And at the beginning of it, it sounds just like a regular praise. Oh Lord, you test me, you know me, you birthed me, you created me, you put me in my mother's womb, you formed me and gave me all my body parts. Here I am. That's pretty much what he's doing. But he's giving praise to God before he just starts rambling. Sometimes we come to God and we just start rambling our problems. God, I got this going on. We don't even give God the moment of respect like he should be honored to have. And that's what David was good at, praising God. So if you want to change anything in your praise routine, instead of when you find you're in a problem, you hurry up and start throwing prayers to God. Where's God's praise and his honor and respect first? Give him praise for creating you. Give him praise for being there for you. Thank him for creating you and forming you in your mother's womb. And that is what David did here. And after he finished praising it, right after it, I mean, it's just out of nowhere. It's like boom. God, you you murderers, get away from me. God, kill those wicked people. So he's burning in his hope, in his heart, and his soul because he is tired of running from Saul. I mean, he's tired of all this going on. Of course, he's running from a long time. It took a long, long, long time for him to become king, but it came soon enough for him, and it was what he deserved. But at the same time, he's hiding out in caves, and he's like, "Oh my God, thank you, God, for making me, but kill those wicked people who are after me. You murderers, get away from me." Because they are murderers. They're coming trying to murder him just because he's due his number one spot. And the number one does not want to be number two. So he's after him, tracking him across towns and places and villages, running him away, trying to kill him. And that's what's on his heart. So he just screams out after he finishes praising God. And it has an exclamation point at the end. You murderers, get away from me. God, kill those wicked people, those who say bad things about you. Now, right, it's a little dash after it. God, kill those wicked people. And David, he's a word genius, I think, because of course he's worried about himself. Our humanity causes us to worry about ourselves, but at the same time, he always tries to switch God into it so that God can be a part of the plan too. So he's like, these people are getting on my nerves. They're trying to kill me. But at the same time, he says, God, kill those wicked people. And he doesn't want it to be a request for his own self. So he hurries up and says, those who say bad things about you. So he can try to make God see that, oh, I do. He's trying to say that, oh, yes, I would love these people to do away with them. Just make them leave me alone. But I'm only doing this for you, God. They're saying bad things about you. So he tries to hurry up and try to get God in with his plan by saying that, it's not only me being offended here, they're also saying bad things about you. Look at that. And that's disrespectful, isn't it, God? So kill those wicked people. And it says, your enemies use your name falsely. Lord, I hate those who hate you. So he's really speaking from his heart. He doesn't like his God disrespected, and he's true to it. But he really has a number one goal. He's so sick and tired of going through this where murderers are chasing him all over the town that he wants it to stop. But at the same time, they're disrespecting God, so he can bring both of those issues there and have them addressed and show that he's for God and not against God in that way. But get into right to the specific verse, Psalms 139, 13 and 14. It says, you form the way I think and feel. You put me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because you made me in such a wonderful way. I know how amazing that was. So, he's just giving praise there. What can we learn from this? You form the way I think and feel. Yes. You put me together in my mother's womb. So we can just talk about that nobody's a mistake. That's what we can get from this verse. Nobody in the world is a mistake. If you were formed in your mother's womb, God put you there for a reason. No matter how you turn out, you are there for a reason to put something into this world. Don't ever think that I was just born for nothing or considering yourself, why did my parents even have me? What am I even here for? I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm not serving any purpose in one way or another. You don't know who sits back and admires you, hates you, or anything. You're affecting someone in some kind of way. So be proud that you're alive. If you incite pleasure or what is it? Not pleasure, what's the word? If you incite inspiration into someone else, that's a great thing. If you incite anger or hate in someone else, that's a great thing too, because um, one day they'll be aware of their hate or their anger for whatever reason, and maybe that will help them, and they might come back to you to forgive you and say, "Oh, to forgive, ask them for forgiveness," because they can say, like, "I used to hate you, and I realized it was for no reason. I just really hated myself." It can open doors for anything. So whatever you're alive for, you're alive for a purpose, for some reason, and God is the one who formed you. It tells you right there, you put me together in my mother's womb. God says that himself he formed you in your mother's womb. So I praise you because you made me in such a wonderful way. Praise God. No matter who you are, how you look, how you are, be happy of you. I mean, people always, sometimes people just judge you on the outside looking in. No one knows what your spirit is inside. Nobody knows who you are inside. So whether they see something beautiful on the outside or ugly on the outside, no matter what they see, it's not about what they see. It's what God created you to be. If you listen to my message before this one, I was just talking about how God didn't create any mistakes or disasters. Everything in creation is that he made is beautiful. You look at the sky, ground, whether it's the dirt on the ground, you can find some beauty in it, some life in the dirt on the ground. So it's beauty everywhere. And if you can look around and see that everything that exists on this earth is beautiful, there's nothing. Name one thing that's ugly that God created. Nothing. Or that's useless. Nothing. Even the body that he developed where a poop travels from your stomach to the toilet, even that can be useful for, fertilizer or something. So everything's good. So you are worthy of life. You shouldn't be considering, I mean, times get hard. You shouldn't be considering, trying to kill yourself or anything because you're precious. God didn't create you. If he didn't want you alive, he would have never made you in the first place. It just takes you to take that strength from inside. This is what you have to worry about. Nothing. If you're focused on what everybody else is saying about you or what people, their opinion of you or whatever it is, if you sit around and focus on that, that affects you. Don't worry about what someone else is saying about you. Instead, look into the book of God, the Word of God, and see what He says about you. And He says a lot about you. It may take some flipping. Well, actually, these days with Google, with the internet, it doesn't take much flipping at all. I mean, back in the day when I was reading the Bible, I had the actual paper book out. There was no Bible app. I had the actual book to flip through and read the actual Bible when I read it. But you can now go to your Bible and to your phone and go to Google and say, oh, type in, what does God say about me? And voila, here it is. And it's going to be the best thing. It's not going to be, you're trash, you're garbage, you shouldn't even be alive. Of course not. He created you because he loves you. And that's what my yesterday message, I made it today, but it was the message before this one. That's what it says. He says that he loves you. So believe that. Believe in yourself. Your life is more important than anyone's life. If whoever you are, your life is more important than death. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and that's because God made you. Find something to live for. You're around the worst circumstances if you're around someone constantly that you're being harassed by or mistreated by. And if that's making you feel so down and out where you just don't want to live anymore, then the worst thing you can do is try to escape or get away to a new place before you actually end up doing something to yourself. At least give yourself a chance. Don't let that person succeed at ruining your life, because they'll walk around happy like, yeah, I didn't want that person around anyway, and they just did me a favor. So just know that they're the one with the problem, not you. Like, oh, this brings up that video that's going around. This, when you see stuff like this, there's no denying there's evil in the world. This, I don't know if they're on the school campus or what, this blind kid, he's just standing there and this other boy is grabbing him and punching him. And all of a sudden, like a hero, some other one finally stepped up. There were some other people around, but this boy just flew in out of nowhere. He's like, what's wrong with you? Hitting a blind person after he punched him and knocked him down. But he had thought, and now it shows that the last part I heard of the story is that he has to go to court or something because they're putting charges on him. But he's really trying to, somebody who's already got, you know, not, how do you say it? Someone who's already got not a lesser chance, because everybody has every chance. You see people with missing limbs or missing eyes or whatever doing amazing things in this world. Someone who's just born without something that you were born with. Let's just put it like that. And then you come over there and just start fighting them for what? And then you can see the blind boy, he's like, oh, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't even see, and this boy is trying to beat me. I mean, he's just having his kicks off by beating this blind boy. What kind of humanity is this? I mean, you gotta check the evil around you. Who does these things? I mean, but that's just a sign that there is true evil in the world, and you just gotta. And sometimes it's not people's intentions, it's just that what they agreed to. You gotta check your thoughts. That's what it is. In your thought pattern when you're thinking, how to put this. Some thoughts are not always yours. It's just that you're in a mode or a situation or something. Here comes a suggestion. Just like this has been the case ever since Eve and Adam. Since the very beginning, this has been what's going on. It only takes a whisper into your thoughts. Now, that's what was happening even at Eve and Adam. When God told them, God told Adam, any tree, plant, you can eat from everything, but just don't do this one. And he said, don't eat from this one, so he can give him a test. The test is there. And you can only show your obedience if you do what God says. Because all day, God can just say, hey, this whole garden's yours. We're good, right? And then Adam can just say, yeah, we're good. And God can even see his heart or if he's really lying or telling the truth or not. But it comes down to the action to show both parties who's obedient. So imagine this. God has created man. And he wants to fellowship with him, have a relationship with him, just like he wants to do with you and me. That's his only intention. He has no schemes, scams, or anything. He just wants to be your friend and in a relationship and your loved one. He wants to bond with you. So that's what he had as the intention when he first made Adam. And this world of humanity could have ended up a different way where we're actually doing good for each other and we're loving each other. But sin entered the world by Adam's disobedience. But anyway, God created Adam and he tells him, this whole garden is yours. But he must put up one rule at least so that he can see what side of the fence Adam's on. Although he already knows the future, he already knows what Adam's going to do. But he can't prove to Adam that he is not 100% on his team unless he puts the actual test out there. So God sees all this. He knows I created him, but already he's desiring a woman. So he doesn't even know what a woman wants, but I can tell he wants something other than me. So let me go ahead and form this woman for him and I'll give it to him. Well, I still see that he wants something else besides me. What is this in him that he always just wants something else besides me? So God puts this tree and says, look, have any tree you want to. You are desiring something else. Okay, I wanted to just be in your life and just have a bond between you and me. But if you want something else, I'll give it to you. Here you go. Here's the woman. Okay, now you two be fruitful and multiply, etc. So he puts the tree in the Garden of Eden and says, look, don't touch that one. And he already knows how it's going to end, but he lets life play out like God does. No matter what, if we do bad or good, he lets life play out by our own choices. So Eve goes over and sin always starts with that little whisper in the ear, the idea of it. the thought of it. It doesn't even come from you. So don't feel bad in yourself if you're thinking, if you ever have an evil thought, that's not you. What your responsibility is to do is to cancel it out and to kick it out of your mind ASAP. So, Eve is alone or whatever by the tree, and here comes the thought whispering to her, you know what? This apple, doesn't it look so good? Or whatever kind of fruit, this fruit, it looks delicious, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But I don't think we're supposed to eat from that. Come on, are you gonna fall for that? God knows that. He only said that because He knows that you'll get smarter, you'll get wiser if you eat this. Just go ahead and have a little nibble. It's okay. But I don't think I should have that. There must be some reason He said I shouldn't eat it. He just knows that the day that you bite of this fruit is the day that you'll be as smart as Him. And you see, look at all. Can you create anything? No. What have you created? You could barely wake yourself up today. You haven't created anything. But look what God's made. He made all of this. Wouldn't you like to know how to make all this? Well, I would. I do feel kind of dumb now. I would like to be a little genius. Sure, let me have a little of that. And then here comes Adam, and she shares the bite with him when Adam knows fully well that he wasn't supposed to have none. So it's the trend in all of us to get that whisper in our thoughts. Whatever thought's popping in your head, that's not you. You think that, I mean, just because, and sometimes it's not your own thought, it's from other people. I mean, like I was just described, if there's someone around you who's harassing you, or just like the blind boy who's getting bullied by that boy who just walks up and starts punching him. I mean, if life is around you just trying to make you feel awful, just know that you have a blessing on your life. You have a calling on your life. And obviously, you've got to be surrounded by this evil because evil's whole number one goal is to not let good come out in this world. If good was frequent or easy to get to in this world, it would be everywhere. It's not. Name one good person that you can go kick it with right now and just hang out and just have a good time and just good vibes, and they're not trying to use you for anyone for anything or abuse you or treat you wrong, or just name something where you can just hang out with that person all single day. It's sometimes it can be hard to think of because there's not that many people or those kind of types in this world, or at least especially from poverty areas where you're growing up in poverty areas and your whole number one goal is to get because there's nothing there, and that becomes your goal and your mindset to get. So as you're growing into poverty and your mindset is to get, that's the only thing you're thinking about, your next move to get. So who you come in cross with, who you come in paths with, they should be aware because your mind is what can I get, or how, instead of partnering with the person and growing together, you rather think about what can I get out of it. So I mean, that's the kind of mindset in the world. So don't let outside things or even sometimes inside things, if a thought comes out of nowhere, I mean, realize what your thoughts are and what aren't your thoughts. If you wake up and you're feeling like, oh, I can't go to work today, I feel awful, I feel tired. No. Why? I just got 9 hours of sleep. Why would I be tired? I'm straight, get my mind right. I'm about to get up. I have bills to pay. I have things to do. I'm going to be in a joyous mood. This is not going to depress me. Because if you let that thought come and just sit in there and just every morning you wake up, today, and you slug around and you just, have no enthusiasm about being alive. You could have been dead last night. If nothing else, that's what's to be happy about. So be happy that you're alive. If nothing else is going right in your life, and if you hate your job or whatever it is, be happy that you are at least alive. Because some people didn't wake up and they would love to have that experience to open their eyes today. So it's all a mindset. Thoughts come in your mind and it's not even true, but we don't work on ourselves in our mind because some of us get set and say, this is how I am, this is how I'm going to be, what I feel is what I feel, when we should not act always off of our emotions. That's what creates problems in our lives. And if you're somebody, try it your own self. Find where in your life you're negative about something and switch that automatically to a positive. If you're trying to diet, I mean, that's a hard struggle. I try to do that my own self. It takes some working too. But if you have been having 5 burgers for each of the last 5 days, a burger a day or whatever, and you know that's just putting on the pounds in you, and you know you should switch to something more healthy, then of course, number one, switch to things in the refrigerator. But as far as the mindset, you always going to have that desire to say, ooh, I wish I had a delicious burger right now or whatever. Instead of saying, no, I don't. And start thinking about what that burger consists of. Wait a second. That burger has the bread on it is so thick. That's the number one reason it's so thick and it goes down all rough. The meat, sometimes so many things in the news, I don't know what this meat is. I mean, mystery meat, horse, I don't know what I'm eating. Um, the lettuce, one slice of lettuce, if I want lettuce, I might as well go ahead and make me a salad with tomatoes too and all this other stuff. So you just gotta think about it. I don't really need that. All I really need is something to feed my existing body enough so that I can stay alive. I don't need all these extras. It would taste delicious, but there are alternatives to have. So, I mean, it's just any kind of mindset. Whatever makes you make bad choices, start thinking about them in a different way so you can stop making those choices. I do this my own self. It's not like I'm sitting out here just telling you should. No. These are things I do my own self, struggle with my own self just like you and me. What I tell you, I tell my own self. So it's no hypocrisy or anything like that. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It always just start in your mind. The whole gist of this is that, the whole gist of this 13, Psalms 139:13 was, you formed the way I think and feel. You put me together in my mother's womb. If you know God formed you in your mother's womb, then you should be appreciative of that and know you're alive for a purpose. And there's no way that you should be putting yourself down or thinking low of yourself because you are created by the Most High. Now, it was also chapter 14 that was the verse of the day, which said, I praise you because you made me in such a wonderful way. I know how amazing that was. And that's the same thing as 13. So just know how amazing it was for God to create you. I mean, they always talk about this big bang for the creation of the universe or whatever. You're the big bang out your mother's vagina. So you big banged out of her and you should be appreciative that you are alive. And that was very amazing, like it said. I know how amazing that was. That's it. I'm going to the next one. I'm doing like 5 in a row. So just catching up on the verses of the day. And look out for verse number 25 on the next one. Goodbye.